Hi and welcome to Woman Unwrapped. I'm Barbara and this week we've been discussing prayer. Today's question is, does God answer prayers and is there any evidence?
Wrapped up in mystery, priceless through history, a woman unwrapped.
So ladies, does God answer prayer and do you have any evidence?
Absolutely. Yes, God does. He answers prayers. I'm here because God answers prayers. I did share earlier on, with our viewers, how God rescued me from death. I've had several stints of death, and the most spectacular was the one with the birth of my child, when I had thought that, people thought I had gone, and God brought me back. God answers prayers, and I say every prayer He does answer. Even when we don't see the direct result of His answers, it's not because He hasn't heard. He heard, and he's doing something.
So do you think then that God answers in three ways? Yes, no, wait, or maybe? What do you think, ladies?
Yes, definitely.
His answer, yes.
I think so. But I mean, I have a story to tell of how God came through in a prayer. Many years ago, when I gave my life to Christ, I came to the church and I had my young son at the age of 2, and I was in a long-term relationship before I gave my life to Christ. So, of course, I've come into the church with a young child, and it seemed as if it would be difficult for me to get into a relationship, because, it's not just me, it's my son too. We're a package. And in fact, the men weren't very attractive anyway, to be honest, church men. And I thought, oh, goodness. No, I'm telling you, there was no hope for me. I'm telling you, honestly, the men were not appealing.
Was there a but?
There is a but. I saw a young man at a concert and I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to find out who this guy is. Well, anyway, some of the sisters said to me, oh no, he's taken. He's taken, this guy's taken, you're too late. And I was gutted. But they said, he's got a brother, but he's not in church. That night, I went home and I prayed.
You prayed?
I prayed.
You prayed.
And I said, this was my prayer, and I remember I said, Lord, I've seen this guy. He's so handsome, he's so lovely. I want him. But if I can't have him, I want his brother.
Right.
Direct. So ladies,
Be direct.
Be direct. Be specific. A year later, the brother who was not in church, he had his own, and he's got his own testimony to this. It's amazing how God put us together. But anyway, this guy's coming to church, and he was just head over heels over me.
Wow.
There you go. And 25 years later, we are still married.
Oh, that's lovely.
But that was an amazing prayer. But the weird thing, direct. But the thing is, there'll be other prayers that I'm direct with, and God doesn't come through like that straight away.
Well,
He does.
Okay, well, we'll come to that.
For me, he answers prayers. Like I said before, it's in His time. You waited a year for your husband now. That is amazing. And I have been in a situation where I have actually waited 6 months, and I got blessed with this certain situation. And so starting out as a Christian, that's one thing you do have to learn is in God's
time.
Yeah, that's a real challenge. I was really ill. I had a spinal problem, and I asked God to heal me. Now, before I had the healing, I would speak about my problem in a certain way. Once I asked God to heal me, and I said, well, all right, Lord, I need to change how I talk about this. I need to be more expectant. I need to trust and have faith that you can do this and you will do this. And I started to believe that God will heal me. And it was quite a period of time. Around 6 months. I was ill for over a year. But after I changed the way I spoke about my illness, about my spine, 6 months later, God healed me. So it was 6 months, but it was instant when it happened. I went to bed ill. I went to bed with a damaged spine, and I woke up with a healed spine. I was due surgery a week later. I've never had the surgery. That's many years ago.
Did you have someone pray over your
I
spine?
did. I had pastors lay their hands on me and prayer, and lady elders as well lay their hands on me and pray. I was anointed.
So it is about in God's time.
It is in God's time.
It is in God's time.
God healed me.
I've
Took
got
a bit of
another take on
time.
that.
But you also said something
remember-
very important. Sorry, Barbara, about you had to change your way of thinking almost,
I did. And
your attitude.
And what
And
how
it's
I
about
spoke
believing
Absolutely.
that
It's
there
about
is a
faith.
God who does work miracles. So is that something that we lack then sometimes?
Well,
is it the faith?
I've got a question for you. I was wondering, because I know we speak about the children often, and you said my daily prayer is for God to bring those children back. Have you ever wondered?
Why?
Why?
Yes,
Why is he taking
yes,
so long?
Yes.
Have you ever wondered? And what answer have you come up with?
What answer have I come up with?
Why is he taking so long?
God, why are you taking so long? I really don't know. I think probably because all my children were brought up in church, and now they don't come to church.
Well, there is hope. And I'll
There
tell you
is hope.
something. I'll tell you something.
But as a parent, as God-fearing women,
Can you stop crying because you make me start? I'm going
Exactly.
to start
And
crying.
as God-fearing women, you know, we want our children saved.
Of course we do.
But what gives me hope, I remember where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And I mean, I lived an outrageous life, did crazy stuff. And if God can reveal himself out there where I was doing what I was doing, and he spoke to me, then I know that he will speak to my children.
I just want to encourage you, Andre. When Daniel prayed to God, God heard. God told him that from the day he prayed, he answered his prayers.
That's right.
But the kings of Persia withheld his answers for a couple of days, 21 days. You are in that period. We need to now direct our prayers to the enemy that is making those prayers evidence not yet. So we need to redirect our prayers. And you know what?
I know.
God has come through for you.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? God, it's not over until God says it's over.
That's right.
But obviously, you know, we have emotion. We haven't got hearts of stone.
No.
And it kills me, but I know in God's time.
I know, but Andrew, what you've got to remember as well is that, as you said, we've all got a background, and for the children to go through what they're going through, they will have testimonies, and we just have to keep praying over them that God will come through. I mean, at least your children enter into the church. My one doesn't even want to say the word. You know, so
Okay, you know, while we are praying, we're being intercessors for our children. They may not be in the church, and God at the moment, and God hasn't answered your prayer in the way you've requested. But in the meantime, they are being protected.
Absolutely.
They are being protected, and your children have known Christ.
That's right.
As children.
Bring up a child in the way Proverbs tells us
so
that.
they might leave, but it doesn't leave them.
Yeah.
So I was wondering now, you guys are saying that God does answer prayers and you have seen the evidence, because obviously clearly you've seen the evidence. But we pray for years and years about our families, our children. Is there anything else that you've prayed for that God has answered or not? Have you seen evidence of things that he's answered?
Well,
Taking the human side out of it, of the families, children, have you seen any evidence of anything else that he's answered?
But within our own...
Yeah, in your own lives, or anyone that you know.
Oh, yeah, I can go back, you know, years, and he brought me out of a horrible situation, and I didn't think I'd ever have children, and he blessed me with a husband and 2 children. So there's always some sort of story. So it's as we keep saying, it's his time.
Okay. Toyin, you were saying?
yeah, well, I mean, going back to what you said, I mean, about the children, I was just going to say that, you know, we're not giving up, because I believe God has answered the prayers.
Never give up.
The evidence you have not seen. When my daughter was going to get baptized, there was nothing stopping her. So she made a conscious decision. Nothing on earth or in hell was going to stop her. And I believe that your time is around the corner.
I know.
Yeah, but God had.
Thank you so much, ladies. I'm so glad there is evidence of God answering prayers, especially in our lives. And thank you for watching. Please join in the conversation of, does God answer your prayer, and is there any evidence in this? But next time we'll be discussing, how do we pray? Please join with us, and we see you next time.